Hey guys, welcome. I am so excited to have this beautiful woman to be able to not only visit and interview today because I want you to know her and I want you to follow her. I want you to be a member of her fan club because she is such a creative, loving, giving, beautiful teacher. So, Mary Corrado, welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to see you, Amy.
Good to see you too. So guys, part of the reason why we're doing these interviews is because I'm wanting to be able to have a conversation with some of our former students. And Mary is one of those people that has inspired me by her work. And I thought it would be interesting for you just to be able to hear where she was from. So, Mary, if I could just ask you a few things and then you share with everybody here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how we can follow you, what social platforms you're on. Let's get that. I want to get that out there first.
Well, my name is Mary Corrado. I am from Portland, Oregon, and I have a Facebook page at maryk.corrado. And I actually have a couple on there. And I also have an Instagram page, and I have gone from Mary Corrado Interiors to Mary Corrado Designs as I've started to kind of change up my ideas of what I want to do in my business. We change it up to Mary Corrado Designs. So that includes more furniture design and painting and all that good stuff. I do have an interiors business. I have been doing interior decorating for many, many, many years. And so I always have loved Amy Howard designs. I've always loved all of your stuff from Schumacher. I've always loved your line of furniture. And I wanted to recreate it. And I never knew how to do that with just regular paint from the paint store. So so then, it took me on my journey to finding you again and doing what we do now. So
tell everybody that's watching, as far as how you would look at your painting, your finishing, and the way you would go about executing things prior to taking the Old World finishing course.
Well, prior I found chalk paint. And so I thought, oh, that looks so easy. So I will try chalk paint. So I did that. So that felt good compared to latex paint from, the paint store. And so I felt like that was really good. And then I learned a little bit about wax, but that's as far as it got. And so if I wanted to do more, I would see like these beautiful old world finishes with like a texture on it, or with a beautiful finish that was more of a glaze. And I thought, how do you do that? This isn't quite doing it for me. So I would only go so far. And I have to say, I sold some pieces like that, and I'm kind of embarrassed because I look back and I'm not that great.
You're like, I don't like that.
It's like, I'm sorry, but I thought they were great. So I tried to figure it out myself, and I just could only go so far. I had done a little gilding, but just by following YouTube or any of those, going to the craft store. So I always tried, I've always tried to figure things out myself.
And that is something that I try to speak to people about. When you go to YouTube and you go here, and it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really a collective feeling when you know that things are created to be married with one another and to work really well with one another instead of like oil and vinegar. And so as far as what your finishes look like pre Old World finishing course, and then after taking the Old World finishing course and doing the modules and having the mentoring, how would you tell someone what your finishes, how they look differently?
Night and day. It went from like kind of what everyone does, just a pretty little finish, maybe a little bit of too much sanding it, or too much rubbing back, or too much of a little bit of fakeness to it, versus learning the actual real techniques of how to look authentic, how to look antique, how to learn the different paints that we learned. I mean, it's completely different. I mean, it blew me away.
Oh,
seriously.
how would you say that it's changed even the way you buy furniture now that you're rescuing?
Oh my gosh. I'm so much more into, I always, as doing interiors and stuff, I always thought, oh, I love really clean, new furniture. You know, I worked for a really fabulous furniture store also, and they had just really beautiful stuff. And I realized it was supposed to look old. It wasn't necessarily old. And I love that. But at the same time, to learn to be able to do that and not pay the money for it, or I look for really lovely finishes, and I always wanted them. I just couldn't afford them. I always wanted them.
Do you look at your work now that you've been putting in the work? I mean, I believe you've been an exemplary student and
Oh,
a beautiful member of our community. What would you say when you look at your work now, when you look at your samples, when you look at your mood boards, when you look at the finishes that you're doing on your pieces? How does it make you feel?
I'm really critical of myself. And I always think, maybe this isn't so great. And I love everyone's work. But when it comes to myself, it's like, oh, I just don't know. But I look back and I look at some of my mood boards and I look back at some of my samples and I think those are really fabulous. They're really beautiful. I mean,
We're
really,
our own worst critics, aren't we? Because
yes.
you are such an inspiration to our community. And I know we have some guys come in, and those of you that are watching, you may be guys or what, and it's okay, and you could do it. But we're women, and
Yes.
we have interest in things that are beautiful because we see our homes as an extension of ourselves. And so, if I try to share with people, if it's something that you're interested in making your home more beautiful, you definitely can use it for that. But then,
Oh,
if this is
absolutely.
something that you love, it can become a side hustle.
Hmm. Hmm.
What, Mary, what would you tell someone that is on the fence? They've seen this, they know we've had the old world finishing course, they've thought about it. And if there's some hesitation, maybe they're a beginner, they think they just don't have, they're not as creative, or what would you tell them?
I think honestly, if you're even interested, then that's a sign, because you wouldn't be interested if you had no interest in doing it. So if you even have a bit of an interest in it, it's easy. I mean, it takes practice, it takes all kinds of stuff, but really, you are such a good teacher and you show us step by step how to do it. You follow the steps and it works. It's not like it's not going to work for you, but it works for someone else. It's going to work. And it's just amazing. It's remarkable because you end up with these beautiful samples and you say, oh my gosh, I did that. That is so beautiful. And so you may look back from your very beginning and you may say, well, I probably was a little heavy handed on this or a little bit like this, but you know what? You just continue to practice. And no, from the start, I had never had any doubts. Once I did it, I would loved every single thing I did. I had no regret ever. I've never heard anyone say, I'm kind of sorry I signed up. I've never heard anyone say that.
And I'm so grateful for the process and how we've put it together, that there are the 10 modules that will be doing the 6 week of the live mentoring, which I know is incredibly important. And it allows the community of all the people that joined to be able to get to know each other. And it's like the sorority. It's like you bond together through celebrating your celebrations as well as your struggles, and being able to push through and be like, this is great, I can do it. And I think that's the part to me that gets me jazzed as a teacher or an instructor, to be able to see the new community of people that are going to come in, and they'll soon meet you, and they'll soon see why we adore and value what you add, and just your taste level and everything. It is just such a gift. It's a gift to me as well as all the women in our community. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And guys, if you're watching today, go to the link below, click and sign up, be a part of this old world finishing course, because guess what? When it goes away, it goes away. And it's really something that we don't do a lot. It's been almost 2 years since I did the live mentoring. So you want to be a part of this of society of finishers. And then maybe you can be something not identical, but because Mary is pretty special, but you can do beautiful work. Like Mary. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you, Mary. I
Bye-bye.
appreciate it so
Thank
much.
you.
Mwah. Bye, guys.